Alright, hello and welcome. So I just noticed some activity from Dane Meno, or Mena, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Particularly, Dave Meno commented about an hour ago on a link that was posted by Monica Doyle. A link that I posted and Monica Doyle had commented. Monica Doyle commented, "What the fuck is your point?" Basically, for a long time now, several months, Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh have increased, escalating some hostile behaviors, using some profanities, some extreme, dishonorable, disgraceful language. And it might relate to being a man or a woman, like how based on what Dane had stated just recently, maybe it's manly or womanly to use English language profanity and to tell people that they are faggot bitches, for example. Here you can clearly see Monica Doyle called me a faggot bitch, and I've never had any homosexual experiences with other humans, including male humans. And here you can see Monica Doyle is bringing attention to other people, in this case Nathan Capps, referring to me as Pat's roommate, fucking roommate, is essentially trying to undermine my name, tarnish my name, essentially assassinating my character. And here is a message from Dane Meno. Jason, have you ever been with a real man? Message me though. So Dane, specifically or explicitly, is seeking attention. So I could ignore it, and perhaps I should. Perhaps it's best to just ignore it. But I'm live streaming this with regards to Patrick Doss, my roommate, and his behavior the last several months, which has manifested from, I think, some of the originating behavioral patterns that occurred before I moved in with Pat, December 2014. I think relates to some of the activity that occurs in Pat's brain with regards just this morning when he woke to read an email I sent to him and landlord. And also emergency contact, I heard maniacal laughter from my roommate, Patrick Doss, as if he doesn't even care about any of the serious concerns, which aren't even so serious. Like, why so serious? That picture, why so serious? But yeah, if Pat Doss, who stated feels like bashing my head against the wall, thank you for not bashing my head against the wall, but if you ever do that, Pat Doss, shame on you, and how dare you even suggest that you feel like bashing my head against the wall, especially after Pat Doss has bashed his own head against the wall rather severely, almost as if Pat Doss has mental issues, and he certainly does, and has previously stated that, describing as if I have mental issues, which we all have mental issues, but I have never bashed my head against the wall. Technically, when I was a young kid, I have experienced that, not too extreme, but so I can understand some of the brain activity that occurs in Pat's head with his own bashing of head against the wall at the 30 years of age that he is, approximately. But it's very unfortunate that it happens at such a late age, especially when it comes to such extreme, it's not too extreme, he's still alive, he hasn't had a concussion after bashing his head, as far as I know. Maybe he did and didn't say anything, I don't know. But anyway, so Dane, where'd it go? Dane Meno is telling me to message him. So let's see. And again, Monica Doyle blocked me. Jesse Welsh. Why do I keep saying Jessica? Damn it! Sorry, I'm very sorry. I do not mean to mispronounce your name, Jesse Welsh. Sorry. Dane. Yeah, Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh had blocked me. Thank you. I mean, with all due respect, please stop with these disrespectful statements. So, where is it? So, open link in new tab. And let me see, can I call him? I don't think so. We aren't connected. So, it opens this. We pause the music. Turn the volume up. I don't think I can call. What happens? Okay, so it's not working. So a little bit, who is Dane Minow, and what is his role in this situation? He's allegedly from Salem, Ohio, and allegedly married to Christy Minow. And this is a picture of one of these is Dane, I suspect. So I suspect this is Dane, therefore maybe this is Dane. I don't know. Anyway, this is obnoxious. You just click this, get his attention, maybe. See what is on his mind. Suspectedly relating to a real man. Maybe Dane Minow qualifies himself as not just a man, but a real man, as opposed to a fake man. Perhaps a man that is relatively culturally aligned with that of being a man, and anyone with male physiology, like a penis, or having male anatomy or biology that behaves in ways unlike perhaps how Dane behaves, does not qualify to be real. That particular person, that human, is perhaps not male, or not real. So I'm just curious to what extent are Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh interested to continue the gossiping, extending from situation involving Patrick Doss, my roommate. Of course, as I understand, Homo sapiens essentially have survived the nature of species based on the ability to gossip. Without gossiping, without our ability to gossip, we would perhaps not survive compared to other Homo, and not Homo the modern day homosexuality, but just Homo prefix of the word Homo sapien, or humans that we refer to ourselves nowadays, persons, even neglecting the humanity, and not even neglecting. I mean, person is a more legal term than other things. Like, there are non-humans that technically have some legal rights as a status as a person in various jurisdictions, which is relatively interesting and quite fascinating for non-humans to be recognized legally as persons. And also, there's been effort in a while now, a decade or so, for corporations or companies to be legally recognized as persons in the United States, to some extent, with some aspects of what personhood, where there are multiple persons that qualify as being regarded as having rights like a person. So it was about an hour. Let's see, the time was 9:05 p.m. Right now it's 10:20, so hour 15 minutes ago. Dane Minow, who likely, I'm pretty sure, is friends with Jesse Welsh. Nope. Monica Doyle. Nope, not even friends with Monica Doyle. So, okay, so who is this person? And are they friends with Nathan Capps? Okay, so this person, Dane Minow, is not even friends with Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh. They're friends with Nathan Capps. Very interesting. So, based on Nathan Capps' reference by Monica Doyle, Dane Minow has gained attention to this particular conversation because of Monica Doyle bringing attention to Nathan Capps. So Dane Minow now is a part of this conversation. And I see there's one other person watching. Hello, welcome, whoever you are. And just to point out, I did send a friend request to Dane Minot just to curiously inquire with what Dane Minot wants to tell me and what it might relate to being a real man, having a male physiology and genuinely having that, or maybe even not even just focusing on the physiology or the anatomy or the biology, but how to behave, how to societally or culturally behave, sustainably even behave as a man, where if you want to continue the humanity species by reproduction or producing relations, having maybe even intimate or sexual relations and lasting relations that are relatively societally acceptable, where everyone gets along well and peacefully, or even if they don't, as long as it's the perception is maintained, then that's all that matters. So, for example, Monica Doyle wrote this text, these two words, "faggot bitch," but this is not Monica Doyle. I mean, it was wonderful when what's his name? Just a couple weeks ago, I forgot his name already. Why can't I remember? I should know it. It's just brain fart. All right, I can't remember. So I can find it. Pittsburgh bike polo. Chad Sedlak. So just a couple weeks ago, Chad Sedlak apologized to me. Let me see, Facebook message. So if I just go to my Facebook messages, Chad Sedlak, see on Messenger. Actually, it wasn't here. It was where was it? All right, so search messages for Chad Sedlak. See all in Messenger. This is Firefox. So okay, so basically we barely had any conversation in this particular account, but here Chad said, "Hi Jason, I'd like to apologize for yelling at you today. It's not in my nature. That being said, I'd like to meet up with you after 5 p.m. sometime this week and apologize in person and explain why I was so angry, and in turn hear you out. I was under the wrong abstention as to your being a polo. I'm an ass, but an honest one. Thank you. I mean, it was wonderful to meet with you at Doyle in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Highland Avenue, close to Highland Park neighborhood. And at the coffee shop, and to discuss, and we had wonderful, lovely conversation. It was excellent. It was civil, respectful, no shouting, no yelling, no calling me a piece of shit. You did state to me apologizing for Chad Sedlak did state to me apologizing for calling me a piece of shit, and he didn't really elaborate too much of the other concerns, but all of the hostile, toxic, abusive statements that he and behaviors and treatment towards me are pretty much all as one, pretty much. But he pointed out one thing that I didn't even remember so well, or did not hear so well. So anyway, yeah, I think, like Chad said, like, he's an awesome person, wonderful, beautiful person, excellent man even. He shows a strong sense of manliness that is relatively, perhaps, culturally diverse, where it doesn't matter what culture, what kind of I don't know. There might be some persons that might degrade Chad Sedlak as being a fake man or not a real man, or maybe even bring about some sort of questioning to perhaps get into the manufacturing of consent of what is real and what is not in terms of being a real man or not real man or a fake man. But I mean, I'm proud of Chad Sedlak. He's a wonderful example, wonderful leader. to be honest, to be fair, to be frank. Pat Doss, my roommate, just pathetic, poor. He's a leader. Everyone is a leader. We all are leaders, but some of us are poor leaders. Pat has not apologized practically for anything, but notably for the last few months, 4 or 5 months, for many of the things that have occurred. Increasingly escalated to be quite abusive and bullying. I'm glad that I'm not dead. I'm glad that Pat Doss has not bashed my head against the wall, but when he did state that at a time that led to Resolve Emergency Crisis Network call, and then police were called, and then he was arrested, and then somehow Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle immediately were treating me with hostility based on, as I understand, what Pat Doss had stated to them while he was texting them or calling them from a police station or wherever he was. The next, just early morning, I had received some very practically threatening responses from Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle, and Jesse Profoda, who had stayed with us for a few months, also had received contact, and Jesse Profoda was a lot more civil, a lot more understanding, willing to listen to what I had to say, my story, my narrative, which, as I try to explain, I try to be as honest. It's very easy to be honest, to tell the truth. You don't have to lie. Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, Democratic National Committee, is an excellent example, modern-day example, of somebody who engages in narcissistic style bullying and lying, pathological lying, and conspiring in practically illegal or even unethical or immoral activities. And it's not the only person. There are many narcissistic personality types of humans. And I'm pretty confident that my roommate, Pat Doss, especially as exemplified by his friends Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle, are showcasing some significant narcissistic style of abuse that even is quite apparent based on some of their statements to me, which just even this one alone, where is it? This right here, faggot bitch. I'm not a faggot bitch. Monica Doyle is also not a faggot bitch. Previous ones, like, by all means, if you don't want to hear me, then you can block me, which finally Monica blocked me. Dane Minnow contributing to this conversation, which is practically ceased. There's nothing positive or rewarding to benefit from this conversation. There is, but it does not seem like there's enough momentum to manifest as such. This very question is practically a loaded question. It doesn't have to be a court procedure for loaded questions to occur. Loaded questions can exist anywhere, just like manufacturing consent can exist anywhere. The ability to manufacture consent, for example, Monica Doyle here clearly is manufacturing the consent of other persons, maybe Nathan Capps, to treat me or regard me as a faggot bitch. And as we have general understanding of these types of ideas of persons where people are treated negatively, when more of these statements occur, it's like a mob. The more people involved, the more hostility occurs. Once your character is assassinated, as long as the story sticks, more people start spreading the story, regardless of whether it's true or not. Mob mentality, then it just sticks. So it's very unfortunate that Monica Doyle has contributed to some of this influence, and has practically shown no willingness whatsoever. And I say whatsoever, not entirely true, because even after Monica Doyle had apologized, sending message to me, private message on Facebook, after she had apologized, she had continued to resort to some of the things that she had apologized for, such that her apology is essentially rendered meaningless to an extent, or at least it was temporary apology, which perhaps is an apology that's one of those fake apologies, or not a real apology, maybe similar or analogous to being a real man, where maybe in the case of Dane Minnow, maybe his idea of trying to have me contact him to discuss what this real man is perhaps to maybe even who cares about whether you're real or not? Just give the image, the illusion, the perception, the deception, or just the idea of being real, as opposed to whether or not there is reality in the realness. For example, Donald Trump is perhaps an exemplary example of maybe the word man. Like, he is a man. He definitely, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump has male physiology, biology, and anatomy, and therefore qualifies as being regarded as a man. And I think Donald Trump identifies as a man. I think it's pretty clear. He does not has, maybe he has stated at one point in time that he identifies as a woman, or I don't know. But in the case of Dame Minnow asking this question, as I just found out, only being friends with Nathan Capps and not being friends with Monica Doyle or Jesse Welsh, what is Dame Minnow's intentions, and what kind of personality type does Dame Minnow have as a human being? Dame Minnow is clearly a human being. He is not a bot or artificial intelligence, or maybe he is. Maybe it's a fake Facebook account. But I have a genuine, just somehow perception that Dame Minnow is a real living human being, and possibly with male physiology. These pictures perhaps could be faked or just falsified, or I could even check just quickly by taking a link, saving this image, since Facebook doesn't really, Google Images doesn't really work with encrypted links from Facebook for some reason. So search, upload an image, search Google Images for this image that I just saved, and there's no other matches. So it's pretty simple to kind of just assume that this is genuine, authentic picture, and that one of these guys, probably this one, is Dame Minnow. So other photos of Dame Minnow. Actually, I have no idea. Oh wait, these are people you may know. Okay, so Dane's photos. So this is probably Dame Minnow, or it could be this one, or someone else, or this could be Dane for all I know. Maybe here, maybe Dane owns guns. Interesting. So maybe not necessarily that it means being violent. There's definitely the misunderstanding of guns. There were some countries, and it's wonderful to see how so many people have so many guns, and there's so little violence in those countries. It's very wonderful to have exposure to an awareness and familiarity where, like the war on guns, where giving pretty much manufacturing consent and being afraid of things like guns, where why are you afraid of the guns? It's not the guns that are killing people, it's the people that are using guns that are mentally deranged or mentally unstable or somehow triggered, whether through manufacturing consent or even mob mentality, that are using these weapons to do some very destructive things. Like even Pat Doss, who bashed his own head against the wall, which doesn't require a gun, and then had stated to me that he felt like bashing my head against the wall, but he hasn't done so because he's good at anger management, as he stated. Disgraceful. Like, why even say it? A lot of the other activities based on that Pat has exhibited behaviorally, pretty much what Pat has done, how he's behaved the last 6-12 months, it's kind of interesting to recognize the patterns that emerge, especially with relation to his almost dying from heroin overdose. And then lying. Well, it's okay. Like, after you awaken from almost death heroin overdose, and police are there, and paramedics and whatnot, that are asking you if you have any more drugs on your person or possession in your home, and you're probably too afraid, or maybe you're not even too afraid, just don't want to be arrested, because you know if you admit to having more drugs, you will be arrested. But he lied. He did have more drugs on his person, and he could have handed it over. He didn't, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I didn't say anything to police while they were there. I was standing outside, but I was disappointed that he was lying, and I think that kind of set a precedent where, as Pat started incorporating some lies about myself, where he was saying different things to different people, including not saying things to people, and then saying some things as if to give the impression that I'm not being bullied while also still bullying me. Not too bad, but little incrementally, more and more, it's been really frustrating circumstance to deal with, not just Pat Doss's ignorance and negligence, but extendedly with Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle's just contributions to carry on this gossip to perhaps undermine my credibility or treat me as if I'm somehow some mentally unstable, crazy lunatic, as somebody else had reputably done just a few years ago, and done so towards people that were quite gullible, exploitable. Unfortunately, they, I don't know, but this is more, I'm not going to really get into that. More just curious about Dane Minow, what is on his mind, what is occurring in his brain, what is the reason that Dane Minow had asked the question, where is it? Have you ever been with a real man? I don't know, is this even maybe bringing a question to my sexuality with regards to maybe he took this word seriously, that I am a homosexual or that I am a faggot, and that my sexual experiences with males, which I've never had any, I have had intimate experiences with female humans, but with male humans I haven't, and maybe Dane Minow took this in the context of thinking that I am homosexual, and that all of the partners I've had that are male, with male physiology, were not real, and that all of the relationships I've had with men were fake relationships. Or I have no idea. I have no idea what occurred in Dane Minow's head with regards to why he commented here. But I do know that Dane Minow has commented here. It's clearly here. At least I think he did. It could be somebody using his account. I have no idea. Whoever it was, maybe Dane Minow himself, specifically told me to message him. So anyway, I'm extremely disappointed in not only Patrick Doss, but also especially very disappointed in Monica Doyle. She definitely hasn't been engaging in some very unhealthy behaviors, and likely she has no care in the world about her behavior, which perhaps fuels her effort to continue behaving that way. Patrick Doss has provided practically an out, like a practically escaping responsibility and escaping accountability to just say whatever to me and have no care in the world, as if to treat me that I have no value, no worth, no dignity, no integrity, no confidence, no courage, no bravery, no strength, no blah. I don't know. But Monica Doyle is definitely has shown increasingly hostile, toxic behaviors, and it's very unfortunate that it's occurred. Pat Doss at one point, my roommate, had stated to me he thinks I need to see a psychiatrist, and it's pretty clear to me that Pat Doss needs to see a psychiatrist. He is definitely showcasing some increasingly psychotic behaviorisms, and then somehow extending to give the impression to others, including our landlord Spencer Caminos, as if to suggest that I am the one that needs help, including just writing letters to me with his sloppy handwriting, giving the perception, the continued story, the narrative that I am the one that has mental issues, which, yeah, I do have mental issues, and I do use my brain for mental cognitive capacity to think, especially trying to experience a sense of critical thinking. But I do have more important things to do. I also do not have more important things to do, but I'd like to try to do more important things and more productive things than to bother with these petty types of situations from persons that like to or enjoy to indulge in petty situations. And I have noticed, and even before it was pointed out, yeah, barely anyone responds to or comments on a lot of the things that I post on Facebook, but Facebook is not the only platform for which I operate. I use so many different platforms. Discord, GitHub, IRC, Slack, and there are many Discord and Slack communities. I'm not showing evidence of everything that I do. Email I use, text messages, with phone numbers, so many different platforms, so it's hard to really kind of provide a total summary of, like, even phone calls, with having all the phone calls. And here in Pennsylvania it requires consent from all parties to record audio. which I can't even record audio if persons don't give consent. So, and in many cases, I'm not going to explicitly ask for consent to record conversations because that kind of changes the behavior in the conversations. It's very obvious. It's very fundamental. If you ask for consent to record a conversation, the immediate brain activity in that person's heads, or the person's heads, when they are asked that question, will be reflecting. It'll alter their course of thought. So anyway, so I have received a response back, and I'm not going to really wait for it from the friend request. It's possible that he's not paying attention, which is fine. It was over an hour and 15. It was about an hour and 15 minutes before I noticed the message, so he's probably not active anymore. I will send a link to this live stream. Bring attention to the live stream, which again will likely change his behavior or focus of how he responds, which is fine. I am not trying to be secretive about things. I'd rather have transparent, accountable, responsible conversations rather than conversations that are secretive, especially when they involve things like calling people faggot bitches or whatever, that Monica Doyle has exemplified, shown wonderful example as a leader of willing to say those things to persons, especially maybe persons that she feels have little to no worry, that she has nothing to worry about whatsoever by calling me that, because I'm maybe too powerless or too meaningless for anyone to respect or consider, which perhaps would explain why she has for a couple months now escalating, saying some extremely nasty things. There are a lot more things that have been said to me. I did not include in this by Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh. They have not included in this live stream. Just briefly, one of the things that Jesse Welsh had stated was suggesting that, stating to me something like, you could ruin Pat's chances to see his child, his 3-year-old daughter, which I've been thinking about this a lot. The very fundamental moment that Jesse Welsh communicated to me that I Jason Conlar, potentially could ruin my roommate's chances to see his daughter, his 3-year-old daughter, given everything that's happened between him and his baby's mother. Isn't this true for everyone? Jesse Welsh, you know what, Jesse Welsh? You know what, Monica Doyle? You know what, everyone? You could potentially ruin blah, 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 blah. Maybe you could if you tell the truth. As long as you don't tell the truth, as long as you submit to silence, then Pathos has nothing to worry about. He can continue to do whatever he's doing, that will therefore not ruin his chances to see his daughter. That very statement made by Jesse Welsh was very, very clearly toxic red flag warning sign for what is kind of manifesting now. I think it's very obvious, very clear. I think we have enough understanding based on our observation in political atmosphere to kind of recognize some of the narcissistic and sociopathic behavioral patterns or the tendencies of particular humans, that we don't even have to know what their thoughts are. We can kind of get a general idea as to the activities that are occurring in their brains and the momentum and their agendas and interests and motives and potential just kind of protecting one another, like protectionism to an extent, where it's like if you I don't know. I don't have too much experience. I haven't ever used illegal substances like cocaine or heroin or methamphetamine or Adderall or all sorts of other things. And I haven't ever had any contacts or known who to contact to obtain those materials. I have it's very easy now to understand, to recognize who is using those particular substances and just ask them if they know anyone that I could maybe obtain some free samples or purchase with some currency like United States Federal Reserve notes, and buy some of those substances and either resell them for profit or use them And generally when those types of activities occur, you might want to keep it secret, and maybe not let anyone know that, at least not let majority of people know that you're making these contacts, despite that, as we have learned, NSA, GCHQ, FRA, and other spy agencies have been monitoring and recording practically all phone conversations for the last 15 years and longer. So, like, all of this evidence, the patterns, like, there's already been videos exposing, showing real-time tracking of phone numbers and their GPS coordinates, that you can't even if you disable GPS on your phone, there's still, it's still being tracked, especially with triangulation, using the cell phone towers to triangulate the approximate location of the particular mobile device, that you can pretty much recognize patterns in terms of who's calling whom, what the reasons are, especially with the metadata. You don't even have to know what the conversation is, or the messaging, the phone call, the voice conversation, or the text message. You can just kind of learn things based on the metadata. And I very much think the likes of Jacob Appelbaum, who also has had his character assassinated, I'd look forward to potentially hearing back from him at some point in the future if he ever emerges from his not hiding, but perhaps just recognizing that he lost his voice, his reputation, because of things that aren't even as extreme as other persons, like Harvey Weinstein, which even, I don't know, it's too controversial. It's not part of this conversation. I don't really know what to say at the moment. So I just wanted to link the live stream. I referenced Nathan's name. What was Nathan's last name? Nathan Caps. Where'd it go? Did I lose the message? Damn it. Alright, so I was typing, and okay. Due to the severity of the situation, I don't even know what to say. It's not a physical issue as much as it's a mental issue. The cognitive abilities of occurring in brains. There hasn't been any physical altercations. There have been efforts to, especially I noticed not just from Pat Doss, who made the threat suggesting that if I say anything to anyone that I will regret it. And Jesse Welsh, I forgot what he said, but he had stated several things at different times, kind of suggesting he wants to come. Jesse Welsh wanted to come over to this house, and he's been here before, and to talk to me in person. And based on the words that he used to describe that, it was very clear that Jesse Welsh had incorporated some potential for physical use of physical violence, which is disgrace and dishonor. Like, we can talk in person. Jesse Welsh has not contacted me by phone or through any way to talk, any form of verbal conversation. He has only produced tapping on his phone or typing on a keyboard, communicating text messages response, where I couldn't even see his facial expressions or his body language. But I think he had used some words that essentially described his potential for the body language, where it's hard to tell, but Jesse Welsh hasn't shown any. He hasn't even visited in person. I haven't seen him at this property for several months, or a couple months. So, like, both Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh have not, like, basically actions speak louder than words. With their words, their communications on the internet through Facebook, quite toxic, but they haven't shown any. My phone is vibrating. Getting a phone call. Okay, so they haven't shown any effort to stand up to their words. It's pretty much just I don't know. But how do I describe this? I don't know. Just I'll just link the video. So what? That's not the correct title. Okay. Let me try. That was strange. So okay, this should work. No summary, auto summary. What? Why is that showing that? I'm so confused. Oh yeah, so Facebook has, in fact, it's not even, I don't even know if it's a bug or not, but once you link something, if the metadata changes, Facebook does not reflect those changes. It just shows what it saves in their servers, so that yeah. So I'll have to I guess I can't. Well, let me just copy. Oops. Let me copy this link here. So if I if I paste this here, it shows that. But if I paste this here, it shows read Patrick Goss, Monica Doyle, and Jesse Welsh. So I can just link this without using this summary. So I'll just do that. Okay. Alright, so activity. Okay, nothing exciting, nothing interesting or important. Alright, so just a couple days ago, or yesterday, sorry, just a petty situation. I noticed that my roommate had applied some peanut butter to the light switch. I didn't know what it was at first, but I did find out it was no big deal. But just a few days ago, I had called police again based on some escalated situation. It wasn't even too bad, but it was enough to be concerned that worrying about maybe Pat engaging in some further abuse. I don't even understand why Pat is not willing to just kind of discuss things or talk about things. He had blocked me on Facebook several months ago, which kind of symbolizes that Pat is unwilling to have any consideration to discuss things, not willing to listen to anything I have to say. Pat Dosh had previously stated that he's trying to get far the hell away from me, and that's kind of a quote where the reference to the hell, far the hell away, was something that Pat had explicitly stated that those were his own words. And at the same time, before and after making that statement, Pat has done absolutely nothing to get anywhere away from me. He is still pretty much holding his ground and has communicated to landlord in ways that seem to make it seem as if I am the perpetrator for a lot of the circumstances, especially based on the history of attacking the messenger. As soon as somebody says something about something, especially the truth, attacking, criticizing the messenger has historical precedence, and it's relatively interesting, especially with regards to how Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle have been contributing to circumstances. And I think Pat Doss is wonderfully appreciative, very much appreciates his friends, his relationship with Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle, to be able to use them for their efforts to engage in gossiping or their willingness to say these nasty things to me. Pat Doss perhaps feels that he isn't able to say these things to me, and perhaps he wants to. Maybe also, as Pat stated, he wants to bash my head against the wall. Maybe Pat would be very proud to have a friend who would be willing to bash my head against the wall for Pat, and perhaps even do so without paying them, or maybe he would pay them. Perhaps he would pay them in the form of sharing drugs with them or some other sort of compensation. But I think it's pretty clear, based on some of the activities that are occurring, that Pat Doss has been contributing to some extremely toxic situations that I think Chad said that his apology to me is directly related to how Pat has manufactured consent for Chad to think the way he did, which he did apologize for. And I think Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle have... Monica has also apologized, but that apology has been rendered useless, null and void, based on her continuing to engage in the behavior after having apologized, as if the apology was meaningless or just kind of a red herring, basically a false flag. It seems as if Pat Doss, especially with his maniacal laughter earlier this morning, which nobody knows about except me because I heard it, and it was really just, it made me cringe side. Like, I was really hoping that possibly something I'm saying might get through to his brain, that he might understand why I am so concerned. Especially, I don't want to be poisoned. I don't want to have my food poisoned or something else, which might even be just kind of like I'm just losing sense of reality. I don't even know what is a threat anymore in terms of what is Pat willing to engage in. Considering his little, like, I haven't really described a lot of the other activities that have occurred besides the couple days yesterday recording the the peanut butter and the light switch was kind of just anyway, I don't know. I'm lost in thought, lost in focus, and I'm probably not behaving like this real man that's Dane Minot questioned with regards to me. So anyway, I also would like to ask Dane Minot, Dane, are you a real man? Are you real? Or have you ever been with like, have you ever been physically in a proximity to not just a man, with a person with male physiology, but a real man? Have you ever had sexual intercourse with a real man? I don't even know what you mean by the word ben. Like being close to somebody, like you're outdoors, going out to eat, or drinking beer, or coffee, or tea, or whatever, going out to eat. Or do you mean like sleeping, or even sexual intercourse? I have no idea. So maybe you're, again, Dane's message me, bro, may kind of provide some more indication as to what is Dane's intentions, his agendas, and his motivations, and also what is it in response to with regards to Nathan Capps, or Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh, Monica Doyle's alleged boyfriend. I think they have sexual relations or sexual activities or intimate partnership or whatever they are experiencing, or just, I have no idea. Anyway, this is almost an hour long now. Maybe this is the intention of Monica Doyle to make me worry, make me be afraid of more and more persons that are perhaps bringing attention to me, and perhaps trying to manufacture my consent to comply with Monica Doyle's interest, or Nathan Capps' interest, or whatever. I have no idea what Nathan Capps has been saying, or what he knows, or I don't even know who Nathan Capps is. And let me just check quickly. If I check, since Pathos had blocked me too, is Nathan Capps. So he is friends with Jesse Welsh and Monica Doyle. As you can see, Jesse Welsh here, Monica Doyle. Is he friends with Pathos? Yes. So Nathan Capps is also friends with Pathos. So it is likely that Pathos has also had contributions communicated to Nathan Capps, and perhaps it's part of the French circle that Monica Doyle had stated that she ousted me from, which I don't even know what it meant. I don't even know anyone else's friends that Monica Doyle is with, any of Monica's friends besides Pathos. I've never been involved with any other of Monica's friends. So, and again, here's a screenshot from Monica Doyle, and I also have my own, but Jesse Welsh a few weeks ago had stated, saying to me that I'm a whiny little bitch. So here in this almost hour-long video, live stream video, you can hear me being this alleged whiny little bitch who thinks, I think with my brain cognitively somehow, that I am smart because I can use these English language words to communicate verbally, and maybe I don't need to do this to be smart, because just thinking that you're smart and not actually being smart are separate things. Actions speak louder than words. So here is a live stream video, according to Jesse Welsh, showing my stupidity and pretentiousness, because I'm so small-minded and so inexperienced, and I'm cut off from social realities. And yeah, I've lacked a lot of experiences that I really wish I would have experienced, but also at the same time, I'm recognizing, especially in this country, United States, where there's so much just toxicity, so much abuse, so much predatory exploitation, that I'm glad that I haven't been too involved with so many people, especially based on the gossip and the hearsay and the manufacturing consent and the mental manipulations that occur in so many circles, where people are pretty much just, like, of some of the experiences I observed, it's just really, really damaging cognitively, mentally, psychologically, to see so many people suffer when there's people taking so much attention away from others, that they're engaging in some extremely predatory activities. So I guess I'm okay. I'm completely okay to be a laughingstock to this alleged everyone. Whoever these people that are laughing at me, thank you. I mean, by all means, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Your brains are relatively compromised, I suspect, and especially if you're unwilling to, as Monica Doyle and Jesse Welsh are exhibiting, I'm willing to show any consideration to understand some of the fundamental early initial concerns, just pretend as if those concerns don't matter, and treat anyone that tries to explain them like crap. Then yeah, I don't want to do anything to do with those brains, those humans. So I don't know if and when I say I don't want anything to do with them, here I am making a live stream video with regards to why am I Dame Minot, but I don't know if Dame Minot is a toxic, destructive person, or if he's maybe, I don't know if he's gullible. I have no idea. Anyway, thanks for watching. Almost an hour long. One other person was watching. Don't know who it is, but it doesn't matter. Actually, it might even be myself. I don't know. So let me just check. Yeah, so I'm watching twice, and if I close the other one, it'll change the one. So nobody was actually watching this. Eventually, a few more seconds. All right. Anyway, I forgot to play the music, or if I did play it, I paused it. I forgot. Thanks for watching, and thank you for not watching. For everyone that has not watched this, have a nice day.